As my time at Walter's house draws to an end, I am in a rush to try to get Lil Blue 2 ready for stealth camping, urban stealth camping. And basically just reassembling Lil Blue 2 from all the parts that have been cut and taken apart. I have cleaned out this little area here, so you can see we actually have a little closet that I can hang several jackets and some clothes here if I wanted to hang them. I basically just putting jackets here for the winter months. I also have my Wi-Fi extender. If you guys saw that episode, this actually does work. All it is a little salad bowl, plastic salad bowl from Dollar Tree with aluminum foil on it. And what happens is the Wi-Fi signal hits it and bounces back in, and you have that directed at your phone or tablet or whatever needs free Wi-Fi. I do have storage here for the table here and a little chair. Some of you are wondering why I didn't put the spare tire here. There's just not enough room. I also want to have access to the jack in case the tire goes flat, and a couple of containers of fluid. The portable chuck station that I had created, I ended up converting it back to a rear side chuck station, which is semi-portable. It can be taken out, but to keep it from sliding around, I bolted it down or screwed it down using L brackets. Now this piece isn't here. I mean, it's just a temporary piece of wood that I stuck there, but you can see how the L brackets hold it in place right there. I just bolted it down or screwed it down there on that side, and on this side I L bracketed it to the part that was already mounted, you know, screwed into the interior to make this little storage area. Now, I haven't mounted this yet, but I took some of the dresser units and I'm getting ready to put it here, but I see that I'm going to need to put another piece of wood here to raise this up maybe 2 inches to fill up that gap up there, but also to make it so the drawer opens. You can see, like right now, it partially opens and then it hits the lip, because this lip is on a tilt, an incline. So you have to raise this up a little bit. It's not mounted or anything yet, but I'm going to raise this up another inch or so. Then I'm going to screw it all in, and that way the drawers, 2 drawers here, can be open and closed. And this will be for the kitchen stuff like plates and, you know, spoons and everything else when I go camping and I want to cook in the back. I am going to have to cut this, so I might have to take all this back out here, but I might just try to do it inside the vehicle. I'm going to try to cut across here so that you have access to this shelf, and also cut across here and here so that I have access to this bottom shelf to access things like pepper, salt, soy sauce, and anything else. And then this piece right here, let me show you here in a minute. This is the piece that used to be the front of the portable chuck station. I am going to put it in like this. Not going to really have it slide or anything. You can see it almost fits. It's just a little bit shy of fitting. So I'm getting ready to sand it down to get it to fit perfectly. And then I will make a little shelf that goes in, like diagonal here. I don't know if I'm going to make it slide or not. I may keep it like that, or I might make it so you can slide it out. And that way you can cook with it outside here. I probably will make it so you can slide it out to at least this far right here. That way the rice cooker or whatever can cook, and steam will go up here this way and not underneath and hit, you know, this area. So I'll probably make it slide, but I'm not going to do anything fancy with a slide or anything. I'm just going to have it here like this, and then I'm going to I'm just going to put a little piece of wood across the thing to make a little slider. So it's not a full-blown slide or anything, but a homemade quickie one. You'll see it once it goes into, you know, actually gets put up. But the idea is to make this so it can slide in and out, like it'll be able to be pulled out a little bit, and I can do the running the rice cooker from here, from the vehicle if I want to. Now, this shelving actually extends. See, it doesn't go all the way in because the chuck station's skinny. But I'm going to leave this part sticking out because there's a line here that says the load line. Do not pass that line. And this actually lines right up to that load line, so it's perfect. So I'll leave it sticking out like this, which looks a little bad, but I think it's fine, you know. That way I can have a shelf that comes out like this far, and I can run the rice cooker like this when I'm out, you know, in the boonies or off-grid somewhere trying to cook. And what I did, just let me pause the camera here and show you what I did to fix the bedding section here. I had some wood that I bought here, this light wood here, but I didn't have enough pieces because I cut it and chopped it up to use into other parts. So I had to make a piece. So let me show you what I did. Okay, I pushed the mattress back there so you can see. I essentially had this long plank here that I cut into widths going across. So it became the same width as this big piece. I could have just bought a piece, but I didn't want to spend the money on it. I think a piece like this will cost me about $14 to $18, and I didn't feel like spending the money. So I took the 4 pieces of the plank that went across, and I ran a beam underneath, see that? To make it so that it became one piece, and I did the same with the other side. I had to make sure that it lined up with this guide rail that I had made, so I lined up this side, but this side I didn't line up. It doesn't have to be lined up, but it had to not be at the end so that it could fit in here and slide, you know. See how I have a little gap here? Ideally, you'd have it right up to it, but I didn't measure. It's not as critical. As long as it was this side had enough room that this would line up evenly with this. That's all that I was really concerned about. But these can actually be removed, and the reason they can be removed is there's storage back here. So I'll be carrying the spare tire back here, and I may build a little cabinet area to put stuff there, or just carry some items there. Some basically on top of this tire, I plan on getting one of those plastic clothing trays and then using stuff to store in that. And then under here, I'll have something else that I can store. And the reason for all this is pretty much going to be my home and where I will store everything, so there has to be room. So this is where the extra storage is under here. So all available space in this van will be used. But you can see how the platform goes back together as a bed. It's 3 sections. It's got this piece, this middle piece that I put together, and another piece like this up at the front that connects to the back of the seat. See that? This is the other piece right here that I was telling you about, the 3 pieces. And then this is actually the back of the front seat that folds forward. And I put some wood here to give it more strength because the it has some kind of like paperish, cardboardish thingy in the back that kind of collapse. So I just bolted in, screwed in a piece of wood here, plywood. It's not really plywood. I don't know if that's pine. It's really light wood at Home Depot. And I got that because it's light. It's not super strong, but it's light. And I wanted to keep the vehicle as light as possible. Now, the reason I didn't go ahead and build a full-blown platform bed for the bed is because I want to leave this chair in here. This is the middle bench seat because, as you know, I get my children on the weekends, but now I won't have them on the weekends, only part-time. But I still need to carry passengers in here. So if I fold the bed back up and I push that wood, this wood right here, back, then I can actually lift the seat up and have a functioning minivan, soccer mom type van, that will carry about 4 or 5 people total. About 4 passengers and 1 driver, or 3 passengers comfortably, because you can sit 2 back here, 1 up front, which is kind of a mess right now, and then 1 in the, of course, the driver. So this is how the bedding system is done. There is some storage back here, which I keep for the sleeping bags and stuff that I normally don't use in hot weather, but those of you who saw what happened when I was doing the night gig and out in the cold northern part of Florida, central north Florida, it got to like 20 in the 20s. So I have essentially 3 sleeping bags that I can use and bundle myself in the 3 bags if I have to for the winter, if I end up still living in the van during the winter. And of course up front here, it's going to be pretty clear, but I have a little miniature kitchenette that I can use to cook in while driving if I decide I want to cook and drive. So that's pretty much it right now, and I hope to wrap up most of the construction tonight because I have to go back to work tomorrow, and then the rest of this week is spent cleaning Walter's house and unloading, you know, throwing things away, and just basically getting the house ready for Walter and getting the van ready for me to be able to stealth camp in it. I'll be installing the rice cooker over here. I think maybe 2 rice cookers. I'm also going to take the sandwich maker, maybe a toaster. I haven't decided if I want the toaster with me, but I may take it. And the reason for those kind of things, even though they run off electricity, my plan to cook is actually not cooking in the vehicle. And the reason for that is I actually am, you know, working now in this area. So that means I can cook when I'm not at work, as long as I can find an electrical power outlet somewhere to plug into. So over the course of the next week or so, I will be searching out areas where I can plug in and use electricity to cook food. And, you know, that saves me from having to buy a propane system or a butane system, which I still have. I think the butane one from Camp Freedom 3, no, Camp Freedom 2. And I might use that on occasion, but for the most part, I plan on cooking while driving if it's not something big, or cooking at a picnic area that has electrical plugs for me to use for free. So you'll get to see some of those episodes if I end up doing that, which I'm pretty sure I will be, because that's my plan, to save money. Otherwise, I end up eating out every day, and that can get expensive. So stay tuned. You will get to see more of the build. Well, not so much build as in building, but I'm getting ready to go sand this down. You can see how the side here, I can trim probably about 2/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and then it should fit in here perfectly, and then I can slide it in and out. So look forward to that. And then this section will have to be raised up and screwed in so that it doesn't slide all over the place. And of course, on the interior, we do have 4 drawer units right there. You can see I have 4 drawers, which will be for clothes. You know, so I have clothes and whatnot that can be stored there, as well as another drawer there for knickknacks, medicines, or whatever. There's quite a lot of storage. When you're talking about living in a small space, whether it's a tiny home or a van, or, you know, a boat or something like that, space becomes a premium. You want to take advantage of it, but at the same time, you don't want it to look cluttered. You know, you want to know where everything is and have it organized, just like you would a house. So I essentially section off the vehicle into different living areas. Like here, this whole back area is an outdoor kitchenette. And what I'm going to have here is like the kitchen cooking appliances. And I also have, I'll have plates and other things that I use there. And of course, that's the cabinet for salt, peppers, and things like that. Condiments, I guess it's called. And here I have just a little storage closet. And of course, this is my garage area. So I'm going to be putting vehicle fluids and things like that there. Although I have to put the toolbox somewhere. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put that yet. But I'll figure it out here as I start to put the vehicle back together. And here we have the house's electrical system, which is the battery, the inverter here. This is a 750 watt inverter, which can be used to cook. We have a little mini refrigerator that my wife got me for Christmas. It's a 12 volt plug into the cigarette lighter. I plan on keeping that plugged in here on this side unit here, which is a 12 volt outlet, to keep that cold. And the only thing, it's so tiny, it doesn't really hold anything, but I might be able to keep some soda in there. And of course, my knickknack drawer up here, 2 drawers. And then up here, you can see I have Velcro. That's to hold the fishing tackle box thingy. I have a little fishing box. I also have a little light switch that needs new batteries, but you can turn that on and off. And of course, another storage unit. And the side here, the little slot that can be used for storage, as well as the area behind the curtains. If you look, even behind the curtains, I do have storage here. So you can see the little fishing pole there for my son. He likes to go fishing. Of course, we got our little pictures, our thermometer, and whatnot. Had a viewer ask where I get these little fans from. You can get them almost from anywhere, but I get them from Walmart. You can find them in the automotive section. They are 12 volt fans that plug into the cigarette lighter. But if you have a house battery system, you can mount, you know, the cigarette lighters, which we may do an episode to show you how to build a portable 12 volt battery system that you can carry with you for emergencies or for use in your van, you know, if you're like a temporary, and you can even use it as a full-time house battery pack system if you wanted to. But I have 3 of them, and they cost about $12 or $14 each at Walmart. So you can get these fans for about $12, and they are definitely worth it. Now, they do have a habit of suddenly dying, like the motor burns out or the switch burns out. If the switch burns out, you can bypass the switch and just, you know, make it so that you can plug it in and have it work, and just unplug it to turn it off. But I recommend getting more than one Some people recommended that I put in a ceiling vent to vent out the hot air. I think that you don't really need that in a minivan, especially, you know, here in Florida where we typically get a breeze and I let the van open up. You know, I just open the door and stuff and it blows through and all the hot air blows out within 1 to 2 minutes. I do have the back vented. I always keep these vented here. You can see I have the windows. They pop open like a V shape. And I actually have mosquito netting that I have installed here, which you can see how it was done on the van build video. But there's actual mosquito netting in between here so that bugs don't fly in. So this side and this side, one went down on its own here, but see I can pop it open and you can see it has holes here, so there's constant airflow, although the window curtains here will block it a little bit, but there's little gaps there so air comes through, air circulates in this vehicle so it doesn't get too hot inside. And we'll be covering more of the systems and doing a full review once the van is completely put together. Now, what's really special about these fan units is this. They do have the clip-ons so you can move them around anywhere you like, and I clip them at various places, you know, strategic places. But that particular one right there on the side, I'm going to use as the fan for the personal electric air conditioner that I'll be building here. It's an ice air personal cooler designed to give me super cold, ice cold air on demand. Typically for really hot nights when I'm sleeping. Now, I did an episode yesterday here about staying cool inside a van. Well, the reality is this. The best way to stay cool is to be out of the van, okay? And, you know, I say stay cool, I mean like if you have to be in the van at night and you're trying to sleep and whatnot. During the daytime, I'm usually at the beach or somewhere by water with a cold breeze, you know, cool breeze blowing through, and I can open up the vehicle like this, and air just flows through, and I got a nice breeze, and it's not hot at all. And if you're urban stealth camping or in a city environment, you really can get air conditioning just simply by hanging out at the library, the mall, department stores. You know, look around for items. Even at Goodwill, they have air conditioning. So during times when I wasn't working, and even now, in this situation on my off days, I will probably be hanging out at places like the library, the parks. You know, at parks and stuff, I can park under a tree and just open up a little bit and chill and just, you know, chill. But during the daytime when it's super hot, I could go to the swimming pool if they're still open. I can go to the library. I can go to the supermarket and just walk around Dollar Tree, picking up items or just looking and getting some ideas. So that is actually one of the best ways to stay cool, is to not be in the van. You know, it's going to be hot. You're sitting in a tin can, so don't plan on hanging out in your van during the daytime. Unless you have a full-blown air conditioning system where you can have cold air climate control, you don't really want to be in the van that often. You know, I use the van for sleeping in, for cooking, and that's pretty much it. Sleeping and cooking and carrying all my stuff, my clothes, my Band-Aids and things like that for, you know, like a emergency kit. Excuse me here. As well as items that you need, you know. You don't really... I know the channel is called Living in a Van, but you don't really live in a van. Oh, my voice is going out, and this video is going on, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it right now, and maybe do another video later with more of the build or more progress on the vehicle. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you found this video useful, and you can see Lil Blue 2 is coming back, and it's going to be better than ever. Until next time, everybody, take care. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay cool, and take care.